didn't they? Because it came up.
Aha.
Yeah, I think so. I'll make sure it's saved. How you going?
Yeah, good. Sorry it's taken me a while to get back to you.
Yeah, no, it's alright. All good.
On holidays, so I've been just cruising down the coast and enjoying myself.
Who said you could fly around on a holiday?
Yeah, I did. I told my boss I'm having 2 months off. See you in spring.
Yeah, good on you. I did so. Yeah, look, now I've got to say, I saw an animal, and Jedediah Road is a remote road anyway. It goes out to the mine, and all around where I am, it's all bush. Pretty well. It's bush and farmland.
Yep.
And also in the Fitzgerald National Park, there were sightings in 2000 and I think it was 10 or 15 or something. It was quite recent. They saw what they believe was a couple of Tasmanian tigers. Now, I was coming back from a mine run because I take the guys out on a mine run every morning and every evening I pick them up. And so it was just coming on daybreak, but it's still dark. Anyway, and I thought, because there's so many roos up here, like you dodging roos and emus and one thing and another. Anyway, I saw some rustling in the bush and I thought, better slow down because when there's one roo, the next one pops out real straight after, like that's what normally happens.
Yeah.
So I slowed right down and this thing came out. Now, when I first looked at it, and I slowed right down and it stopped. It stopped on so I'm going, I'm on the left-hand side of the road and it stopped sort of on the right-hand side of the road. And it was, stopping for a few seconds. Anyway, I slowed right down, stuffed me. I thought, first of all, I thought maybe it might have been a fox. I thought, maybe it's a fox. But anyway, when I looked at it, I said, no, can't be a fox. It's too big for a fox. The colour of its coat was like tan, like you've got with the Thylacines, but it was very, very short, so it's very short. And its tail, this is what blew me, was bloody, had bands of black on its tail. And there's no animal, and I know my animals, I know what dingoes look like, I know what foxes look like, I know what cats look like. It was the size of probably a medium to large dog, probably in between.
Yep.
And the closest thing I've seen, now if you look on YouTube, not YouTube, if you look on Google, where it says are they still alive, there's one looking at you and it's got the question, about is it still alive, are they still alive? And there's a picture of one that's actually facing you with its tail and the stripes on its tail. That's what it looked like. And I believe it. I can't explain it. So whether it was a thylacine or not, I don't know for definite. My wife has seen, she drives on some farm roads and things, and she's seen some like dog things coming out as well, but they've been a bit far for her to see. So I can't explain it now. And I know my animals, and I can't explain what I saw.
What time of day was it?
Sorry?
What time of day was it?
It would have been around about just before 6 a.m. and it's still dark here because of
Yeah.
So, and I had a good look at it. I mean, I didn't I can't explain it. It wasn't a fox, I can definitely tell you that, and it wasn't a dingo, I can definitely tell you that. And it had black bands on its tail, and they would have had at least 8 bands on its tail.
How far from you was it?
Sorry?
How far from it were you?
I reckon about 50 metres maybe.
Okay, so a reasonable distance.
Yeah, not too close to it, but not too far away from it either. And I was still moving, so I was moving towards it. And I wish I'd actually stopped, because if it had stopped, I might have been able to get a photo of it. But I'm driving a bus, so you've got to be careful also
Yeah, carting people around.
Yeah, but I know definitely, I can say this without a shadow of doubt, I cannot explain what it was, and its tail was straight as well. So
Did it
I can't.
did it have a muzzle like a dog, or was it more pug faced?
No, more like a dog.
Right. Okay. So it's
It's definitely more like a dog.
more than likely a thylacine rather than another unusual animal. Yeah.
I wasn't a dog. I can tell you that now.
No, I'm not thinking it was a dog, but we do get sightings of other things with stripes that don't look like thylacines. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As in Thylacine.
Yeah, so I can't explain it. And I know my animals. You know when you've seen a wild dog, you know when you've seen a wild cat, you know when you've seen a fox,
Yeah.
and dingoes and things like that, and there was none of them. I can tell you that now.
How long you been working out that way?
Sorry?
How long you been working, living out that way?
Not long. We've only been here about a month.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
you initially contacted me about a sighting in Tassie out near Fingal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that was a few years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you're...
I've
Sorry, go on.
I've seen other coming. When you drive the Hopetown Road, right, the Hopetown Road and Salt Road, and all the roads up here, it's bush everywhere. And even when I've come into Hopetown, I've seen dogs or dog shapes falling off in the bush. Right, that's happened to me a couple of times. Right, so I've seen that. That's on the Hopetown Road and Salt Road, which is more on the Fitzgerald National Park side.
Okay, so you're north of Perth, where you are.
No, we're south.
Oh, you're south of Perth. Okay.
Right on the coast. Albany
Yep.
and Esperance, we're
Yep.
smack in the middle.
Okay.
Smack in the middle on the coast. The Fitzgerald National Park is a biosphere, the biggest biosphere in the world, one of the biggest biospheres in the world. So it's thousands and thousands of acres. It's a special biosphere of flowers and one thing and another.
Sure.
And there's plenty of food. There's absolutely stacks of food. If they like kangaroo, eating kangaroo, I don't know if they chew their heads off. Is that one of the things
They
I've
do.
seen?
Yeah, they like to rip the heads off and take the lungs out through the neck, or they'll go in under the ribs and take the lungs and the heart that way.
Alright.
But they specifically like the blood-filled organs for some reason. They're blood feeders.
Yeah, alright. Well, that's good to know.
Now,
That's good.
how far from the coast were you when you saw this thing?
Well, the Jedediah Road is about, you've got to come out of town 20 k's, and then you turn right on the Jedediah Road, I think it's the name of it.
So,
And I was probably about, in distance wise, I was probably about, as the crow flies from the coast, about 20 k's inland.
they do love the coastal heathland and, you know, all of that coastal region. There's always plenty of wombats and wallabies along the coast to hunt.
Yeah.
And most of Australia's mainland coastal vegetation is intact. Even South Australia has pretty good coastal vegetation.
Yeah.
So there's always those corridors of food and shelter. And I believe they do take over wombat warrens and hide out during the day, especially in summer.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me, but where I saw the sighting of whatever I saw, down about not even a k down the road is a river crossing. Well, it's not a river crossing. The water, it is a river, but there's a lot of water, and it's actually flooded over the road and washed the road out. It has happened.
Yeah.
So this particular point, and there's also areas along there that have got like bank. So what I was thinking to sort of tackle it from a sort of a scientific point of view is I've been looking online to get some of those nature camps, or what do they call them,
hip camp.
Yeah. And I was going to talk to you about that, and I was going to set a couple up. I was actually going to go down there, see if I could see any footprints in the sand or anything like that, And I was actually going to set a couple of cams up and see how it goes, see what happens. And I was going to I was looking at the ones that have got the solar on.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
they work all right. You're better off not having one that takes a phone connection though, because they go flat pretty quick. But if you can get the ones that solar, and I think you put lithium batteries in them, and it backs them up for quite a while. They'll keep going for ages.
All right. Have you got any ideas of which ones or which brand is a good brand to use?
Not really, mate. I mean, if you go onto eBay, you can find reasonable ones for sale, but cheap is cheap. You'd want to spend at least $100 a camera.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. Ones I was looking at were over 100, just over 100.
Audi actually put out some good cameras occasionally, and they put some out with solar panels on them, and we ended up with 4 of them, I think. I bought 4 of them and gave them to some of the other members that do the research as well, and I've got one of them, and they seem to be pretty reliable. But even the ones that Bunnings sell, the Swan cameras, they're a pretty solid unit. They last for a good 5 or 6 years. Usually you'll get out of them before they deteriorate.
What are the ones in Bunnings? How much are they?
They're called Swan. I think they're about $155, $160, something like that. But they make security cameras and stuff as well, so their products are pretty good, pretty reliable.
Yeah.
And they all take about 8 AA batteries, and I just buy Duracells. I don't fuck around with any other battery but Duracells, basically. They're the best.
Yeah, alright. Duracell, I know they're pretty good batteries, so I wasn't going to... I thought if I invest in a couple of cameras, this is my thinking, and I was going to set up a long time on the water bank, like a bit further out, like from the water, obviously, because if it rains, it'll flood out, so you got to have a...
Yeah, you want to be up a bit, pointing down, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was sort of thinking of doing, and I was going to space them out and see if I could get, see what footage I get.
Yeah, look, creeks and rivers are definitely corridors, without a doubt, and drains as well. They'll use a drain.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of them. There's plenty of those here because a lot of the roads, they have like floodways.
Yeah.
And they have the drains coming through them.
Yeah, those earthen drains are a good way to hide, because they can get down below the profile of the land and go undetected pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, this happened about 2.5, 3 weeks ago when you first tried to get in touch with me, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I've been keeping my eyes peeled, but yeah, look, I'm just really being honest. I can't explain what I saw. I cannot. I've looked online, seen if there's any other animals, but honestly, I can't explain it. So,
Yeah.
And the closest thing I can honestly say is I looked on the Thylacines and those that are still, is it still alive? You'll see there's a photo of one where it's actually facing you, and it's got its tail, and you'll see it on Google, and that's the closest thing that it looks like that.
Yeah.
So if that was what is a Thylacine, well, that's what I've seen. So that's all I can say. If I come across, now this is if we do come across any footage, and it is Thylacines, what do you want me to do?
Just get back in touch with me, I suppose. Be the best bet. From my perspective.
Yeah, of course I'll get back in touch with you. You don't want to sort of...
No, we don't want to reveal any locations if you do get some footage. That's the first thing. And then you might find some headless wallabies or roos or some prints. If you find any evidence like that, that's always handy. But if you get any prints, make sure you've got something to use as a scale with it, even if it's just a bit collider or ideally a tape measure, but it doesn't matter if it's not, as long as it's something we can measure off of, like a 50-cent piece will do,
Okay, well that's a good idea. Now, would you mind sending me when you get a
Yeah, no worries.
You know, and I'll do that, and I will get a scale, and if I find some prints and everything like that, I'll take some photos. And you usually use a bit of what do you call it? The white stuff. Right?
Plaster.
Plaster, yeah.
Yeah, a bag of plaster and a bucket and a 1.25 litre bottle of water in your boot's always handy.
Alright. Okay, no worries. Well, I'll get some of that as well. But,
yeah, and then you've got a permanent record then.
Yeah, well, I will. And what I'll do is if I find any prints, because where I'm going to be setting them up, I don't think anybody goes there anyway. That's the first thing. So
be pretty remote.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping to set up a couple of cameras, you know, along there and see what happens. And if I find any prints, I'll make some things, but I'll let you know where I find them.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll keep it under my belt. No worries.
You know, so and that, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. I was just flabbergasted because I thought I couldn't believe it. I thought first of all, I thought I was a fox, but it wasn't a fox. I know it definitely wasn't, and they don't have black bands anyway.
Nah.
And the coat was too short. It was very, very short haired.
Yeah, it's sort of clinging to the body.
Yeah, it was. It was short haired coat.
Yeah.
And so I was just really quite amazed. To be honest.
Awesome. Nah, it's good.
Yeah.
You're in the club now.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll keep in touch anyway, Neil, and I'll touch base with you, and I'll see how it'll go, and I'll set them up, and we'll see how we go.
Yeah, no worries. Just make sure that you get the angle right, so they're pointing slightly downwards and not pointing upwards. So you're not taking photos of trees and stuff. And when you set them up, also make sure there's no grass in front of it that's going to blow around in the wind, because you'll get a million false triggers otherwise. So
yeah, I was thinking of putting them up on a stake.
Yeah, a stake is actually really good if you can be bothered carrying them around. Depending on how far from your car you got to walk when you put them up, sort of thing. But yeah, stakes are great. But belt your stakes in and then attach them to the stakes. Don't attach them to the stakes and then belt the stakes in, because it jars the circuit boards. It doesn't do them any good.
Yeah, no.
And you'll have to find a way to attach them to the stake securely as well. That can be a bit of a challenge, but you'll work it out.
What about just cable ties? You do it?
Cable ties are good, but then you might need to pop a little screw in the cable tie so it doesn't slide down the stake.
Okay.
Alright? Just
no worries.
handy little hints when you're out there, and you go... I've done it myself, and I've put them on there. I think, yeah, that'll be great. And I get there, and the camera's sitting on the ground, still on the stake. And it's full of water and had it, and it's like expensive mistakes.
Yeah. All right, no worries. That's good to know.
All right, Mark. No worries, mate. It's all right if I release this later on as a little interview for the YouTube.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, no worries. All good.
No worries at all.
Good on you, mate.
Okay.
Sorry it's taken me so long to get back to you, but we get there in the end.
No worries. Good talking to you now.
All right, thanks, Mark. Bye-bye.
Bye.